Well, welcome to another episode of Business Unfiltered. This is episode 2. We have a special guest in the house. This guy is a work machine. He has his own business, which I'm super excited to dive into a lot more later on. He does a lot of things outside of his own business. He has many hobbies. I don't know how this guy sleeps, but yeah, really looking forward to getting to know Dylan Nelson Behrens. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause.
And bounce.
And bounce, yeah. He's come dressed to the nines today, looking absolutely dapper.
I mean,
trying to do a flex on me at the moment. But, no, mate, look, obviously amazing. Dylan owns Whiskey Neat in the Fraser Coast region. It's a very much a standout fashionable brand in the region. I know some of our guys wear that brand.
Yep.
Absolute studs. Every time I see them walk in with Whiskey Neat brand, you can see on the belt buckle there, maybe that, the Whiskey Neat logo there. So, mate, how you been?
Oh, right off my feet. I always tell everybody that these days.
You
I
do.
tell you.
You do. No, you just told me like 5 minutes ago what you have been doing. I was like,
Yeah. The difference is I just don't do running down here.
yeah. For those that don't know, the park run's currently happening in the background, so you might see a few people run past. But
Yeah, it's actually really busy out there today. I couldn't believe it.
every Saturday morning, I think it's like this. It was like this when Zach and I did our.
It makes me feel lazy.
That's all right. We're still working, mate. We're still working.
Yeah,
We're still
that's
working.
it. Yeah.
Mate, obviously Whiskey Neat,
Yep.
awesome brand. Mate, tell the audience a bit more about yourself, maybe a bit of an intro. You know,
Yeah.
where you're born, you're raised, how long you've been in Harvey Bay. I think a lot of people would actually probably love to know a bit more about yourself, as well as obviously the brand. So,
Well, okay. Well, as you all know, I'm Dylan. I'm in my mid-20s now, and I've been in Harvey Bay a very long time. My parents and grandparents have been in Harvey Bay a very, very long time as well, and had multiple businesses and industries. Well, see, I grew up in Harvey Bay, and I really wanted to work. When I was young, I just wanted to work. And I was telling mum and dad all the time, I was like, I just want to work. And they're like, you can't get a job, it's illegal. You're a kid.
you're 8 years
You're
old.
a child. And so I approached my grandparents were living in Urangan here at a retirement village. I mean, my parents were quite comfortable. Like, we didn't grow up with the Ritz, but we grew up wanting getting what we want. You know? And when I got to the ages of about 12 and a half to 13, I just wanted that feeling of making my own.
Yeah.
I don't know what hit me. Obviously, I was hit by something.
Yeah.
And I went to my grandparents' village, and I just went to my grandfather and I said, well, how hard would it be to go and earn some money around the village doing car washes and lawn maintenance and all sorts of stuff? I mean, I do it at home anyway, so why not get paid for it? You know?
Absolutely.
And he said, well, go around the block and ask. And I was such a extroverted kid. Like, I would just walk up to any older person when I was young, and just start talking to them. My own mother had to come over and pull me away sometimes because she'd be like, you're talking to strangers, what's going on? I was just a really friendly kid.
Yeah, good.
You know, and I loved people, and I still do. I love people. And I went to the village and I knocked on doors and I went around and I just said, hey, can I wash your car? You know, $5. These days, I mean, you know, you're looking at $15, $20. But yeah, $5.
Yeah.
Lawn maintenance, $10. You know, those sorts of things. Because these guys are in this retirement village, so it's sort of like a target niche as well. These guys couldn't do it themselves.
Yeah.
So it was good for me to walk in as a young kid and go,
Obviously, and you find obviously most, a lot of people love to help someone young, especially when they're want to have a crack, and especially like thinking how you're 12, 13, thinking, okay, this guy wants to work, earn some money. We want to encourage that.
Yeah. Buying video games and lollies and going to cinemas and stuff. Like my parents obviously bought stuff for us, but I always just wanted to do it myself.
Yeah.
I really wanted to make it myself. And then after that, obviously, I could get a job a year or two later, and I got a job. I applied for so many jobs, and my first job was at KFC. I was
shout out
just
KFC.
shout out KFC. Yeah, no, I stayed at KFC for a while. But what I really wanted, it in a job, was to work at EB Games. Not because I was a video gamer, because I just loved the atmosphere. It
Yeah,
was
when you
all
walk into
about
those sort of
atmosphere.
stores, you think there's a different sort of atmosphere with that. Everyone just seems a bit, yeah. It's something that everyone, I think a lot of people growing up, I think mainly males, but obviously females, of course, they loved a video game. It was,
Yeah.
you know, especially probably in our sort of era or similar age to a degree. And
Yep.
I still love playing video games. It's a good
I
way.
wish I had time.
Yeah. It's a good way to escape. And yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. You walk in there, you're like, you trying to, yeah, it's cool. It's really
Yeah.
awesome.
So I didn't get the job
I
at
was
EB
going to say
Games.
you could get this job, yeah.
But I did do something, and I was very proactive about it. This is why I say that no one has an excuse these days to not get a job, because I went in every time after KFC. I walked across the road, went over to Stocklands. That's when it was known as Centro.
Before my time here, mate.
Yeah, before your time, yeah. And the thing was, I wanted to show dedication. So I knew already in my mind that they alphabetize their games on the wall, and it hadn't been done. So I went in there as a non-worker, as a child at 14 years old, and I reorganized all their games into alphabetical order because I knew that was their system.
So you just did it without telling them?
I did it without telling them.
Yeah.
And then when I finished, I walked up and I said, just so you know, I've alphabetized your entire wall. Yeah. I've also sorted all your pre-owned buckets and made them straight again, because the biggest thing that they would do is like mess them all up and everything. So I organized all that. Oh, this is all the rubbish I found underneath your bays as well. That was probably, making it look a bit yuck in here.
And you say, I'm here to take your job as well? Or?
Yeah, pretty much, right, yeah. And the manager goes, you come in a lot, but you don't buy anything. Yeah. You just hang around and you fix things and you do things. He's like, you clearly want a job. I was like, I've been begging for a job here in ages. And he goes, all right, can you, do you have good customer service? And I was like, yeah, I have great customer service. And he goes, okay, well, put on a white shirt and some black pants tomorrow and you got a job.
Wow.
And I was like, fantastic,
It's, I wouldn't say I have a similar story, but back in Kingaroy, my hometown, I think a lot of people were complaining that there was always hard to find a job. And so I'd just come back from Brisbane. I was looking for a bit of part-time work because I'd started my real estate agency then, but I was still looking for part-time work just to help pay for that. And I walked into the local bottler.
Yep.
And I said, I'm looking for a job. They said, when can you start? I said, today, tomorrow. And I did. And I was like, wow, this is that easy to get a job. Like if you show intent that you want to work, there is work out there. There's a lot of small businesses or bigger businesses that are looking for people that show intent to want to work. And that's like, rather than just going, okay, if they, I'll throw my resume out, I'll just send an email. Yeah, great. But you're coming in there, you're showing intent. You're already working, you're fixing up their shelves, cleaning their mess up, and we're not even working. So
exactly, yeah.
For those that are listening that are looking for a job and struggling, maybe clean some shelves.
Yeah. Alphabetize some
Go
things.
walk in there every day, clean some shelves. I suppose like just listening to that story as well, I can now understand a lot better like as to how you're able to achieve what you have achieved.
Yeah.
In your own business, in your support working business. Like I probably haven't mentioned this yet, but so you have Whiskey Neat that you do work Monday to Saturdays.
Well, I'd like to say 24/7.
24/7, of course, when you have a business. But then you have support working business as well that you do outside of those regular hours, which is crazy. And you're looking at other different business ventures as well, which is phenomenal. So, and you're in mid-20s and you have that sort of work ethic and mindset to, I want to have the best for myself and obviously family down the track as well. But mate, I said workhorse.
I mean, when I was, so after EB Games, I ended up getting 3 jobs after that.
Yeah.
So I was working EB Games.
It's pretty slack what you couldn't do 4. Or,
I know, right? Yeah. Should have done 5.
Yeah, should have.
I then went across the road and I wanted sales. I loved sales. And I thought, I could do sales. This is going to be great.
Have you had a career in real estate or?
Definitely thought about it.
Definitely thought about
it, yeah. But basically, I went across to the good guys because I found that they were very professional in sales. And I also went to Harvey Norman. Harvey Norman were sort of not looking at the time, and they egged me on. Like, they were like, oh, yeah, we're going to hire you. You're a real gun. We know who you are. Cool. Never got back to me, really. But good guys, I walked in, and I didn't even do anything. I walked up, and I said, can I see the manager, please? And it was almost like I was going to complain. And they were like, oh, God, young guy comes in, he's going to complain what's going on. Manager comes up, and he goes, hi, I'm Shane, how can I help you? I was like, I want a job. He's like, okay. And I said, I can be your best salesman in here. I can be. He goes, right, okay. And then I told him everything about what I did previously and everything else. He goes, go up to my office right now, let's go do an interview. So we did an interview on the spot there and then. He got me to sell him a fridge. And he was even wowed. He was like...
He even bought the fridge as well.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
And I was waiting for the sell me this pen trick, but no, I got the fridge, sell me this fridge. And and I made it my effort to already know about most white good products in his store. So I already knew what brands he sold. I already knew what type
you did
of
your
fridges
full
he
due
sold.
diligence before walking in
Absolutely.
there, knowing that if he did pull you aside and had that interview, you're ready to go.
I skimmed that entire website product line, and I learned all
Anyone
of
looking
it.
for a job, that is phenomenal advice.
I got the job on the day.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he goes, look, it might not be true, but I'd hope it is. We don't do this. We don't give people jobs on the spot. So he goes, I'm going to have to get one of the head office area managers in, and I'm going to offer you a job on the spot. And I started the next 3 days.
Yeah.
And
you're there for a couple of years? Or?
I was there for around about 2 years, while I was also working EB Games as well.
Okay.
Because I actually got promoted because of all the hard work I did at EB Games. I actually got promoted just from a casual up to a key holder, which is mid-level manager.
Yeah.
And then I joined the rural fire service as well. So
that was one of the things I wanted to bring up as I was stalking your Instagram. Something that you probably, again, you look at someone and you should never judge a book by its cover. You're like, this guy, graduated from the fire brigade. I was like, wow, I didn't know how long you did it for, but I was like very curious to see from a mental perspective, physical perspective, what that was like. But yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it was exhilarating.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was literally, it was like a hobby, really, at the end of the day.
Was that at Dundarren?
It was at Dundarren, yeah. Great team there, all a bunch of really older guys. So I was the youngest, of course. But I've always gotten along with the older guys. So I was just one of them. They were really welcoming. And when I was a young guy, I was in the Navy Cadets. And bit of a shout out to Steve Price, if he ever watches this, is that he was one of my officers in the Navy Cadets. Yep. And he was also an officer at the fire brigade. So it was good to have that close contact as well. It felt more safe.
Of course.
But going out to a fire, it was a rush. It was an absolute rush. You'd be panicked because you're like, what am I walking into right now?
Was it more the rural brigade, or was it mainly just
So we went through a lot, especially in the big bushfires back in 2019, I think it was. I was doing anywhere between 60 to 70 hours of constant active firefighting a week.
Yeah, wow.
Right after work as well.
As I say, this would be during your working as well.
Yeah. Wow. So I'd finish work, I would eat dinner.
So you're used to working these ridiculous hours, obviously. It sounds like it.
Yeah. I mean, I started firefighting at 17.
Yeah.
So, and we'd go out to these fires, and some of them were just monsters, like literally, and you'd be flogged. Like you've seen it, my Instagram. I have black all through me. There's ash, there's bruises, there's cuts, everything. But it was worth it.
Yeah,
and when you could save someone's property,
absolutely,
it was great. We went to car fires and stuff all the time, so that was an interesting one as well. You'd be amazed how many cars got burnt out of town.
There's a fair few that I've seen driving past out to even took them bottom heads there.
And then in the meantime, after that, I then went and done my security license. And I was a security officer.
Were you that bored where you just decided to
I know, yeah. I was just that bored. Well, I actually finished with EB and then I moved on to security.
Yep.
Because I really liked the idea when I was young of being a police officer.
Yep.
I wanted to join QPS so badly.
Any reason why? Why you didn't do it? Different sort of trajectory? With
Well,
just
I went for QPS,
Okay.
and I passed some things, but at the time there was a bit of an inquiry going on there. I won't talk too much about on live podcasts, but
No, it's unfiltered, mate.
with the female intakes were
Yeah,
very
okay.
low,
Okay.
and too many males were applying. But you know, common
That's probably why I
knowledge.
didn't get in, because I actually did apply for it when I was like 18, 19.
Yeah. So common knowledge is that the
wasn't probably the fact that it wasn't-
previous commissioner
Yeah.
was actually putting people back and letting females in that weren't even passing.
Wow.
You can Google it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you any classified information.
So I suppose like that is mate, like that's a interesting journey just by the time you've even hit 20.
Before I was even 20. Yeah. I know.
Obviously, how does one even get to the point now of whiskey neat?
Well, I went to the military.
That is a very fashion brand. Went to the military. Okay, I'm very curious to see what this, how this. Yep.
Okay, so I was in the military. I joined the military police.
Yep.
So I did go the policing route.
Yep.
I didn't have the greatest of times, unfortunately. I was mistreated quite a bit.
Okay.
I also was subjected to a number of things that I can't talk about. But it was an okay, job. It was a job. At the end of the day, it was a job. Going out to sea was fun as well. I got a medal out of it. That was nice. So
that's good.
Every Anzac Day, I get to wear that proud on my chest and
Absolutely.
say, no matter what I did something.
Absolutely. Country.
After my time in the military, I sort of crashed on my sister's couch in Brisbane. Did nothing.
Shout out
sat
Kayla.
there watching. Yeah, shout out Kayla. Watching
Kayla,
Netflix.
Full disclosure, Kayla, Dylan's sister, does work with us. She's our superstar commercial property manager.
She's amazing.
Yeah,
she's amazing.
Shout out Kayla if you're watching.
Yeah.
I know she told her this week. I said, "Oh, Dylan's coming on the podcast this week." She's like, "No way!" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh." I'm like, "Yeah, this guy. I'm sure he's got a fascinating story." I said, "Just from what I've seen and heard," and I said, "He's gonna, it's gonna be great catching up with him." So,
you know the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Of course.
Yeah. My friends now say to me, they're like, because they've only known me the last 4 or 5 years, and they say, "I swear to God, you're like Catch Me If You Can. You have all these different titles and all these different things, and you're young." And it's like, maybe you're not as young as what you say,
Hey, I thought I had some ideas. My wife always is like, "Oh, Trent's been thinking," or if I get a little bit bored, it's always dangerous, right? But
if I can give a tip to anybody, it is that there is no excuse to not do something.
Absolutely.
If I can do all of that before I was 20,
yeah,
and there's no excuse.
And like obviously, well, this podcast for us was to obviously share these stories, right? But a lot of people do procrastinate, and they go, "Oh, what if someone thinks of like they're afraid of what someone might think of them, or this and that." Like you strike me as the sort of guy that doesn't give an absolute shit what anyone thinks about you, and you want to do the things that you want to do, and you want, if you enjoy it, and it's your life. And I think it's very, very inspiring to hear, because I think especially a lot of people behind the screen, they will go, "Wow, this guy, he doesn't want to do. He'll do whatever he wants to do, and if it works out, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I mean? You dust yourself off and get the next thing." So.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's where that's when after the military I joined investigations. So I became an investigator, and I worked in financial crime.
But you dressed to it too as well. You look like.
Well, I kind of wore the suits every day, and that's what I loved about it too, because I was like, "Oh, this is."
Let me guess. This is when things started to.
This is where things really started to change. My life changed dramatically because I was now living in Brisbane, and I was seeing a whole new world outside of Hervey Bay. And back then, Hervey Bay wasn't as growth as what it is now.
Absolutely.
So I was living in Brisbane, seeing all these nice suits and fashion trends and everything else, and I was like, "God, it'd be nice to wear that sort of stuff." So I chose a corporate job that did that. I was working in counterterrorism and human trafficking and all sorts of things. And then I finished in that job, and then I moved back to Hervey Bay. Unfortunately, my relationship took a bit of an end, so we moved back to Hervey Bay. We actually stayed together in Hervey Bay until it sort of eventually drowned out. But you can come to my cast and hear all about that one.
Also, if this guy's not busy enough, he's going to be launching his own podcast soon. So
the Modern Gentleman Show. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's an awesome name.
Live well, earn well, and dress well. I had to think about that last motto then.
Honestly, I think like, I know it's only episode 2, right? But I had so much fun when we did that with Zach. Having great fun with obviously yourself now as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's something different, but it is so much fun when you start to sit down with different people's journeys, just listening to them and actually feeling quite inspired and motivated by it. And I think even one of our, like the big tycoons in Harvey Bay, Glenn Winnie, he's just had his own podcast. I think he launched that yesterday,
Oh,
a couple of days
really?
ago.
Oh, I have to check
So
that
I'm
out.
honestly really looking forward
I'm
to
a big
to-
fan of Glenn. Yeah, big
had a good
fan.
meeting with him. I was going to say a couple of weeks ago, but that's like nearly a couple of months ago actually. But very, very smart, intelligent guy. The reason why he's been so successful. So again, I don't actually know his podcast name because I only saw it launched yesterday. But give it a follow. It's going to be such valuable content in that podcast.
Yeah, I think it's really good that Harvey Bay is now starting to expand on that, because when you hear about podcasts, you hear about the ones in Melbourne and Brisbane and Gold Coast and all the big city areas, really. And believe it or not, I don't want to sound rude and you could get a lot of controversy, but a lot of these ones don't have experience.
Yeah.
They get in front of a camera where they haven't even had a business.
Yeah.
And they talk about business and they talk about living well and they talk about passive ways to earn income and all these things.
Mate.
And you think to yourself, and what did you do for a job? Oh, I was in retail.
Ever since I think ever since COVID sort of came into the picture, everyone is now an expert in making money. Oh,
Yes.
10 ways how I grew my portfolio. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
How
to get AI to scale your business, but I've never had a business.
have a virus come every 5 years and that's how you double your property portfolio. I mean, it was like a pandemic it was just ridiculous. Some of the podcasts you hear at the moment, hey, great having for them having a crack, but some of the shit they just spit out is ridiculous. But anyway, getting sidetracked.
Yes.
So you got a podcast coming out.
do,
Say the name
yep.
again, sorry.
The Modern Gentleman Show.
All right. He'll obviously have we'll put all his links in there as well, so you guys can give it a follow when the time comes. But obviously we're getting sidetracked here. But so you had before you mentioned, you that's how you started to get into your whiskey neat.
So I moved back to Harvey Bay.
Yep.
Now I was sitting on the beach most days drinking. I was a bit of a big drinker. Not proud, but like.
Has anything changed, or is it still?
Oh, it has now. I've had to medically change. Too much medication. I can't drink.
Okay.
I'm back to being sober. It's great. I'm a wine drinker too and a whiskey drinker. So, but basically, when I moved back to Harvey Bay, I really was sick and tired of working for people. I'd been mistreated in the military. I'd been mistreated in investigations. I won't go right into that because that'll take 10 hours. And I approached my father and I said, I don't want to work for anybody anymore. I'm done. Like, I'm really done. I just want to create my own thing. And he goes, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. I have no idea. But I know I don't want to do something that's already taken up in Harvey Bay. I don't want to overdo it. I want to bring something new. So I looked around, I dabbled in things, and I looked at, maybe I could open our own private investigators, HQ, and do PI and stuff. And no. Although there was a lot of work at the time going.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, no, that's not going to work either. I could open a nightclub. There's a nightclub missing here. Everybody knows
there is. When I first moved here, I was like, there's no nightclub. Like, I'm surprised there's not one. Like, for the size of
if
Harvey Bay.
Bundaberg can have one, Harvey Bay should have one,
Yeah.
And I know Harvey Bay's crying out for one and screaming for one. And I can say publicly, I am working on something. I've been working on something for 2 years. In a town like this, or in a city like this, I should say, because it is a city, it doesn't take a day. For every day that I take planning it, the better it becomes. And when I do all these other businesses, obviously, But
and it still won't be perfect as well when you start it, right?
No,
There's going to be
exactly
things that you will start these things and you'll go, okay, that didn't work out. Well, that's trial and error. This is how we reassess these things.
We're not robots. We can't predict.
Yeah, I can confidently say we are always forever trial and erroring on our business. So, okay, well, that didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. Let's try it this way now.
Exactly. Yeah. So I looked around and dabbled in different things and looked at different things, and I just went, this is actually what really got me. I went to a music event, and 2 guys within a 30-meter distance were wearing the same shirt, the exact same shirt. And I won't say what brand it's from just because of previous defamation things. But I just went to I was with my sister at the time, and I said to Kayla, that's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing that you've got a city as big as it is now and growing as it is now, and you've got two guys wearing the exact same thing, and they're within 30 meters of each other. I said, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to create a menswear line. I thought, how hard can it be? It'd be so easy.
Yeah.
You know, all these people jumping on the China trend and making fashionable things and doing this and doing that. I thought, yeah, for sure, it's going to be easy. Oh boy, was I wrong.
I was literally driving here to the office today. I'm thinking, I'm really looking forward to asking this question is, where do you even start? How do you even start?
Oh, that's what I asked myself about 1,000 times. Where do I start? What do I do? I don't even know where a factory is.
I'm like, where do you reach out to factories? Like, how do you get the clothing? Like, how do you get the material? I'm thinking.
So I projected, so this is where I started. So Whiskey Neat was not the name. We didn't have a name. We didn't have a name.
I reckon.
I thought names can come later.
This was I feel like names come like just before.
They do.
When things start
They
to like
do.
have a bit of a vision as to how it's looking, then you sort of create
And sometimes
the
they're
name.
meant to be.
Yeah.
They, especially our name. I'll tell you the story about that because it's actually a really interesting one. So I said China is going to be where the manufacturing is. It was just cost effective. It was easy to design, easy to manufacture, everything like that, right? But then I went to all these stores in Brisbane. I went to all these stores in Harvey Bay. I went to all these stores in Sydney. And one common problem: China is actually the problem. It's cheap. It's nasty. It deteriorates. It shrinks. It has all issues. And I was like, God, now I don't know if I can go to China. And then I went, oh, Bangladesh and India is pretty good. So I'll look into that. So I started looking into an Indian factory and started to work with this guy. And I'll tell you
How do you even find a contact, or you just type in factories India?
I really did. I really did.
Did you?
I went on to Google and I said, menswear factory in India. And God, I wish I looked better because I'll tell you a story in a minute.
Okay.
This is where businesses can really fail. Because if you're not careful, I could have lost everything.
Okay.
And so anyway, at that time, I was actually planning a trip to Japan. I love Japan. I go all the time. I go every 6 months almost. Unfortunately, this year, due to things happened, I couldn't. And last year, actually, I only got to go once because of all the floods and everything, and that's another story. So I went to Japan and I met my cousin and her friend over there, and we got to know some really big nightclub owners. Shout out to One Oak Tokyo because they're the best nightclub in Tokyo. You ever go to Japan? Go to Tokyo One Oak. It's the best place ever.
Shout out.
Yes.
Put the link in the bio.
We'll put the link in the bio there. I'll message the owners today and be like, hey, just so you know, you've been plugged. So basically, I went over there and I met some, I can't say who, unfortunately, because I'd probably get sued, but I met some very high-profile celebrities.
Okay.
And we were having dinner with them the next night. And I was like, oh, God, I have nothing. I have some jeans, I have some pants, some shorts, and maybe a t-shirt. That's not going to be good. So I ran. It was so hot in Japan at that day too. And I ran all the way down to this place and I walked in. I smashed into their mirrors because their mirrors were so damn clean. They looked like the store was going further. So I'm running, not even watching properly, and I've just gone bang into the mirror. And I've gone, oh, that really hurt. And everyone's looking around at me just laughing, and I'm like, that was embarrassing. The lady comes up to me, she goes, can I help you? And I was like, yeah, I need a suit, like ASAP. She goes, okay, shows me all these cheap suits. I said, no. It needs to be an expensive suit, it needs to be a beautiful suit. Well, we only have 2 suits like that, and they're right down the back, and they're one size, that's it. And I went, oh God, okay, I'm tall, hopefully that works. Went down this beautiful blue suit. It was so nice. I loved it. I put it on and I felt like $1 million. I'd never worn an expensive suit like that. I would always worn, again, I won't say names.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wore this suit and I just felt so sophisticated and I felt so royal and everything went through me. And because I was obviously meeting this celebrity as well, I was like, wow, And anyway, so I put on the suit, I got in the car and I went, oh God, I can't stop feeling this suit. It's so nice. It's really, really like fancy. So I opened up the jacket and I was like, where's this made? It was made in Turkey. And I went, wow, Turkey? Okay. Now this is when I was already like, I'm doing menswear. I'm going to get a factory in India. I'm going to do suits. I wasn't doing suits. I was just going to do casual menswear. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to do some activewear, some polos, some shorts, some pants, whatever, chinos, different, right? Suits was not in our play at all. And I just turned around and I rang my father, and he is the CFO of my company, so Chief Financial Officer as well. And I said to him, I said, we've got to do suits, and we've got to do them in Turkey.
So
Because
you have the business with your father as well.
well,
Like-
my father's our CFO. I like to think
That's awesome.
that-
That's actually really, I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
actually awesome.
So when I run a company, when I start a company, I run it like a conglomerate or an actual company. I don't sit there and go, oh, I own a company and I'm the only sole director and CEO and secretary and office holder and this and that and the other. It's very small business minded.
Absolutely.
And if you are small business minded, people can tell me I'm wrong, but I believe it. It's my philosophy. If you think small business minded, you will stay small business minded. If you practice and say, I'm bigger than what I think I am, you're only going to achieve success.
Absolutely.
That's the only way you're going to go.
When you start building a team up as well, you're saying, well,
Exactly.
how important your team is to your business.
That's right. Yeah.
We wouldn't have a business if I didn't have a team.
Yep.
There's no way I could do everything myself, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I could do it all. And I do technically
I can't do it all, sorry. Yeah.
I could absolutely do it
Shout
all.
out to the PMs. The office here.
So, anyway, so I was telling my father, we've got to make suits in Turkey. We've got to do this. This is amazing. And if we can put this in Harvey Bay, we're in a whole new market. And I got onto I was in Japan at the time, so I was trying to get onto Australian servers. And when you're in Japan, or even when you're overseas and you go on Google, nothing works for Australian stuff. Like, it does, but it's very backwashed. So everything comes up in Japan. So anyway, so I've looked and I've gone, who manufactures turkey suits in Australia? It's Australian costs and everything else. And nothing.
Nothing.
There was nothing. There was one Melbourne business and their suits were through the roof in price. And I just went, Harvey Bay's not going to. They're not going to afford that. Well, not even not going to afford it. It's just the economy here, it doesn't accept that yet. I say yet. It's growing. It's growing. So if you're looking to move to Harvey Bay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know real estate. So basically, I said, all right, let's do this ball game. We're going to now do suits. I've just got to find a manufacturer. I've got to find a factory. But I don't want to find any cheap crap factory. I want a real factory that is going to work for me.
You pay for what you get as well.
Exactly. So I flew back home. I really stuck into it then. And my first business name for the brand was Noir Fashion.
Okay.
Yep. So NF was going to be our logo.
Did anything really come of that dinner you had in Tokyo with those?
Oh, no. That was really just fun.
Just really
Although I did say, I talked it up a lot. And,
as you do.
And they all know I talked it up a lot because that's what you do in business, isn't it? At the end of the day. I said, my fashion brand's going to be massive. My fashion brand doesn't have a name yet, but it's going to be big. And I'm going to send you clothes. I'm going to do everything I can to promote the place because I want Tokyo to be where we are. I said, I'm looking to open a nightclub soon. I want to be in the night industry, in the bar industry and all that sort of stuff. So because I know I can capitalize in there and I know I can bring things that people just seem to not get. You know what I mean? Like, so these people move in, especially in Harvey Bay, and try and open these places and try and pull these things off, but it fails because it needs to be ran properly. It needs to be driven properly. And so I got back. I named it Noir Fashion. I put it out to the public. I put it to a mate of, was a mate of mine. And I said, what do you think of this name? And he goes, yeah, I don't mind it. It's pretty good, actually. Very vague. And I went, for you, now he owns 17 fashion businesses in women's wear. Swimwear, lingerie, sleepwear, all sorts of stuff. And he liked the name quite a bit, I could quite tell. And my family liked the name and everything else, so we were going forward and I started designing logo after logo after logo after logo, as you do. And I was like, I don't know. And the NF joint together, it looks really cool and everything. And then I went, I'm probably going to have a backup in case this doesn't work, right? So then I come up with Fashion Noir, so FN. And then I come up with like 2 other names. I can't even remember them now because they've just completely gone out of my mind. And I still didn't like them. And I was watching Kingsman that night. I used to be one of those ones where I could have the computer on, have a TV going. I know that sounds interesting, but it works for me. And Kingsman was on, and I think it was number 2. And the reason why I correlate this to that is because it just really inspired me for that men's tailor feel, that UK men's tailor feel. And I said, right, if we're doing suits and we're doing really high-end wear, noir fashion is probably not going to be the name. That doesn't sound high-end. It also stands for black fashion, meaning black dresses, black skirts, black suits, black pants, black boots, whatever, right? And I said, yeah, it's probably not going to work. So I put it to a vote, and I'm very well known in this town. My family are very well known in this town, so I have a lot of contacts that I can trust. If I say, hey, look, I've got to get an opinion off you, but I need it confidential, I know that it'll stay confidential.
Yeah,
I have very good trust and respect there. So I messaged probably about 50 people, and I tallied it with my mother. We were sitting there at the table, and we were getting everyone's opinions, and we're telling them down. Noir fashion won.
Did it? Right.
And I just went, okay, I guess I've got to call it noir fashion, right?
Yep.
Public opinion, people like it better. Maybe that's the way to go. So I've designed these logos again. And as I'm falling asleep, I've just, you know that REM state of sleep where your eyes start to flicker and then you do that jump before you go to, yeah. So I've done that. It's probably sitting about 2 a.m. now. And I just pop up out of absolutely nowhere and I just shout. And I'm being serious when I did this. I went, whiskey neat.
Okay.
And I went, that's such a cool name, WN, whiskey neat. I got straight on my computer. It was 2 a.m., I'm sure it was. And I just started doing WNs and gentleman pictures and logos and all sorts of stuff. And I went, an hour later, I went, okay, I'm going to bed. This is stupid. Why am I up at this time in the morning? Go to
Probably
bed.
too excited to sleep now.
I really was.
Yeah,
I was so excited because I was like, whiskey neat. Wow, that's such a cool name. But I was still stuck on noir fashion because I was like, well, it won, right? So in the back of my head, I was like so influenced by the public that I sort of went with whiskey and went, it's probably just a bunch of bullcrap, right?
Yep.
So I got up in the morning and I looked at all the logos I made and I literally basically copied the Johnny Walker logo about 100 times over. And I went, yeah, I'll get sued for that.
Yeah.
And that's infringement. And yeah, I can't use any of them. So I got rid of it. Then I went out to my family. I said, whiskey neat. And they just went, oh, that's such a good name.
It is a good name.
I love that name.
It's such a cracking name.
And they were like, yeah, that's a good one. So I messaged all the same people. I said, whiskey neat. And they all changed to whiskey neat. Maybe 2 or 3 stayed in noir fashion.
Yeah.
And guess what though anyway? Because when I went to go register noir fashion because it won.
Let me guess.
Yeah, it was taken.
By your good friend. Next,
Set up in New York overnight.
Wow.
Trademarked.
Yeah, wow.
Everything. He's a multimillionaire. He can do that, you know. Yeah. So that was out the window. So I said, cool, we'll default to whiskey neat. Everyone loved it
It
anyway.
was meant to be, obviously.
That's right. That's exactly right. So I stayed up all night the next night designing logo after logo after logo. And today, this is
Hopefully the camera can get that.
Yeah. So this is our logo with the WN. Everyone says WI. It's a WN. I promise you.
WIN, win.
Yeah, win.
It's mate, it's a cracking brand. As I said, some of our sales guys wear it. They look like.
Matt just joined you. He come in. He's suited him up and.
Mate, he's a suit and tie sort of guy.
Yeah.
But yesterday, being Friday, he come in no tie, couple of buttons undone.
What was he wearing? Do you know? Do you know what
black
shirt?
pants, like white button-up shirt.
Was it the striped one or just a white plain?
No, I think it's just a white plain.
Yeah.
But mate, he looked like a.
Have you seen his new one
sex
that he
symbol.
got?
Huh? No, I haven't yet. No.
Oh, wait till you see it.
Okay.
It's our new non-iron shirts.
Okay.
I need one of those. So basically, I went and I set it all up and I registered the company there and then I was like, before anyone can take it, I'm registering.
Absolutely.
And I trademarked it and my family were like, why are you trademarking so early? And my lawyers were like, why are you trademarking so early? You're not even a brand yet. Like, settle down.
Well.
And I went,
experience. Just recently.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I'm protected.
Absolutely. Cracking name. And I'm actually surprised no one thought of that name for any other.
Right? Yeah.
Like
even like a
whiskey, like a whiskey neat, just a whiskey brand. Like,
yeah.
Doesn't.
There is a digital company called Whiskey Neat.
Okay.
I don't realize why, because it's actually a free downloadable ebook on marketing.
Right.
Called Whiskey Neat Marketing, And I have emailed them and said, I'd like to purchase whiskeyneat.com. So we're whiskeyneat.com.au
Okay. Yep.
until I can.
We'll put that in the.
Until I can find some really
like,
good lawyers.
Go back to yours. Oh, this is Dylan's business. What? It's just digital ebook.
Yeah, digital ebook.
This guy's doing everything.
So yes, so we are working towards trying to take that because
awesome.
It is a brand at the end of the day. You know, you don't have Tommy Hilfiger and TommyHilfigerMarketing.com.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah. So mate, what's I suppose how did you find the startup costs? Because obviously you've got your own store in Main Street, in Happy Bay or Piaba.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of things that I imagine you'd have to outlay. Obviously, the material.
Yes.
You know, manufacturers, the factories.
Yeah.
The fit out for the shop front, rents. Like, there's a lot of things that you got to outlay before you.
So many hidden costs.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. I think I can imagine, obviously, knowing, you know, you for the last sort of half hour we've been here, you would do your due diligence. You're very thorough in what you do.
Well, I wish I did, Trent. I wish I did.
Okay, I take that back. My apologies.
Yeah, I made a pretty big mistake. I don't like to say I make mistakes anymore. I like to say I make life lessons, expensive life lessons. So
we all learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, I found the factory in India, and I started. Now we design everything, just so you know. We take care in everything we do. And I went to India and I started talking to this guy, and he's like, "Yeah, we can do this. We're a factory." And I looked right into the factory. Being an ex-investigator, I literally thought, I've got this guy on lock. I know everything about his business. I know everything to do. I did. I really did. I did as much thorough research into him as I possibly could.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing I didn't do was fly over there. I trusted to send this guy money. Thousands. I'm talking 60K.
Wow.
And yeah, we had some major problems. So first of all, we were quoted 3 months to make thousands of garments, thousands. And it got to 4 months. And I said, hi, our shop's opening next week. We don't have any stock. How am I supposed to operate with a shop with nothing in it? I can't sell air. And he goes, oh, we're looking at another 3 months. He hadn't even started. He hadn't even touched it. The money had all gone in there months ago and nothing.
Wow. So did you ever, were you regularly following him up throughout that 3 month process?
Yeah.
And he
said,
never
well, he said,
responded,
he said he was doing it all. So I just took his word for it. And I was like, great, that's awesome. And he'd show me bits and pieces to make it look like it was, but it wasn't.
So I suppose if you were to do it again, you'd be flying over there probably regularly to a degree.
I do nothing but fly over now.
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
So we actually had way worse issues actually occur then.
Okay.
I threatened him with legal action and said, you know, we're now losing a lot of money. We set up our commercial building. We went through and we found a place, and then the guy who was taking the place on wasn't treating us very right and actually sort of abused my father as the CFO. And we're old school. We're very old school. I don't take disrespect lightly. And I said, you can go shove it then. I'm looking at Main Street anyway, so I will go to Main Street. So I went to Main Street. And my father is ex-trade anyway, so we fitted out that entire place ourselves. And I designed it all myself. I said, I want this, I want that, I want the copper. And people love our copper rails. They love it. They literally
so
do.
Sophisticated. It does. It really does.
And I go in there every week and my staff hate it because I go in there every week and I'm like, that's outdated. We need something new. The CFO hates it too because he's always signing it off going, really? Another cabinet? Really? Another table?
It's that's great. It's great to have that that trade, that profession that can obviously
exactly.
help you.
It helped a lot. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway, this India factory threatened to keep our money and give us nothing. And I told him my background and I said, we're probably really not the people to be messed with. I'm not trying to threaten you. I'm just saying, like, we're really not the people to be messed with. And he was just like, started to get real abusive and really nasty. And then I was kind of screwed. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And I didn't even want to go to my father at the time because I knew he was just going to be distraught. And so I did go to him and he's like, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, we can fly over. I know where he is. I know the factory. We can fly over. He's like, okay. So we're getting ready to fly over, and then a light bulb moment hit me, and I went, I was in investigations. I should have some contacts. I should be able to do something. I knew some very high profile contacts in Brisbane who have very high profile contacts in India, very high profile contacts in India, close to like their country leaders.
Okay.
So I contacted those who contacted their family who are connected to the country's leaders, and I told them about my situation. I said, let us handle it for you. Let us take care of you. I was like, oh, thank you.
Did this guy know that you were flying over?
Yes.
Okay. But obviously,
He didn't believe me. He didn't believe me. He's like, yeah, sure you are.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I have them to thank for the rest of my life because I could have literally lost $60,000 as a brand new startup company.
And you would have been what, 23, 24 at the time? Early 20s
when did
at least?
I started it in 2024. 2024. I started it in.
60 grand's a lot of money. You know, you could have bought a property. You know, I think a lot of people wouldn't have invested that sort of money into a business. Like
no, well, we invested way more than that, but yeah, that was just the beginning. Fashion's high capital, and I kind of wish I knew a bit more that it was high capital. I didn't realize how high of capital, and now I know. But again, I pay for expensive life lessons, not mistakes. So I then revisited Turkey, and I had phone calls and video phone calls, and I went over and we sussed everything out and we talked it all out and we met the manager of the factory, and I said, well, you'll work for me. You'll be directed under me. I don't want a processing. I don't want a robot making my stuff. I want hand stuff. I want premium stuff.
So what happened in the end with the Indian factory? So they refunded your money, or
no?
Did they...
So in the end, we ended up getting it shipped. I stayed up till 3, 4 a.m. every day.
Just for the time difference?
Yeah, talking with embassy, talking with accountants, talking with lawyers, It was taking a toll on my life so hard, but I was like, I can't lose this. This is my baby.
Obviously, lack of sleep.
Yep.
60 grand you've invested.
I already had lack of sleep because I was up there designing with India every day leading up to it, and Turkey at the same time. I was dead inside. And my ex-partner at the time, she was quite worried. She was laying there asleep while I was next to her on a laptop.
It's like what you're saying, like that is, I mean, amazing to hear. Like the character that builds though for yourself now moving obviously forward. Like you feel like, okay, nothing can stop me now. Like I've gone through the shit, right?
Yeah. So basically our manufacturing took place eventually, finally. And we got all the products. Unfortunately, half the products, I got so excited to pick it up in Brisbane. I got a truck and everything and I loaded it up and I was so excited to get it back. I stayed up till 4 a.m. that morning with my ex-partner. We were going through, she was so supportive through that and it was really great. And we stayed up and we went through things and we opened the first box and I just went, oh my God, this is nothing like I designed. It's just nothing. Like
what the material, it was
the material, the design, the everything, and I was just so annoyed. So I'm now ripping every box open 100 miles an hour, and I'm getting disappointed every box, and I'm just like, what have I done? What have I done? What am I gonna do? So I just packed it all up and I walked out, and I was defeated. I was so done, and I was so upset. I can't cry. God, I wish I could. And
I'm the same. I think you sort of get, when you're in business, I think it's like you just sort of come out emotionless. You just like...
I was just dead inside. I was just... I didn't want to ring my parents either and say, hey, look, we've just gone to India here. And nothing is what I want.
So what happened to stock then? Did you actually sell
it? My parents walked in the next day. They looked at stuff and they said, it's not even that bad. What are you carrying on about? Because they didn't get it. I sat there for hours designing things, producing things. I don't have a background in design, but I flogged myself to learn everything and I flogged myself to design everything. And it was nothing like I'd wanted. So no wonder I'm heartbroken.
Of course.
And what I paid for as well. Now I know what 60,000 can get you on the product market. God, I could have made some big money. But, these things happen. And I walk in late and they understood. They really did understand. My grandparents were there too, super supportive people. And shout out to my parents and my nan. They're the best people, like literally, and my sister. They just smashed it with me.
Okay, that speaks very highly of you and I.
Yeah. And I just looked around. They had it all spread out on the carpet and all on the floor on sheets and everything to lay it all and count it all and look at it all. Half the product was damaged, cigarette holes and burns and stains.
Really?
It was bin worthy. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't try and say,
This
hey,
is-
this is
yeah.
limited edition cigarette burn hole shirt. Just,
I mean, it's a whiskey neat, sort of
I
like,
mean, you can if you're a
cigar,
Louis
yes,
Vuitton, right?
you can spin a couple of different ways.
And I just gave up and I walked out the back and I fell to the floor and I'm just staring at the floor and I'm just like, this is it. Whiskey Neat is dead. It was once a dream, an ambition, a quality product to bring to Hervey Bay and be the best thing for Hervey Bay, and yet this is the crap I got.
Oh, wow.
And I was just so wrecked. And then my mother came up to me, she picked me up, she goes, I want you to try some stuff on. Just try some stuff on. I started trying stuff on, and my upset state and my frown and my anger and everything else released when I looked in the mirror. And I went, it's fashionable. It's cheap, but it's fashionable. And I don't mind it. And I quite frankly wear quite a bit of it these days.
Do you still have all those boxes somewhere, or you've sold it all now?
We have a little bit of that stock still.
Yeah.
And
You just keep it like
it's super
memorabilia.
cheap.
Just
Yeah,
like,
oh
just
God. There's a lot.
memory box.
There's a lot. We have a sale on at the moment, March
Yeah.
Madness. There you go, come
There
in.
you go.
And I just went, how am I going to sell all this? I've got to figure out a strategic way to market this. So I went, it's Hervey Bay. It's bloody hot in Queensland. Cool, summer wear. Even if it is chinos, even if it is suits, summer, summer. Put the word summer in front of it, sold. I was like, great, awesome. Let's market it to summer wear. And it is good quality wear. It actually is 100% cottons.
Yeah.
It is 100%, good materials and wearable materials. I still have clients come in today and say, great quality stuff.
Yeah, where's that stock still? Yeah.
It's the problem of that I had to ditch half of it in the bin, the cigarette. And I reported all this to everyone. And you know what basically India turned around and said? Nothing we can do. What do you want us to do? We can't do anything. Untouchable. So biggest life lesson there, do not trust. When you are going into business, do not trust. And and that sounds nasty, because in a world today, you would think we'd like to be able to trust one another in business.
Oh,
but
mate, business, absolutely not. I think as I said, you can put some trust in there, but you still need to be diligent in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Especially when you're ordering $60,000 worth of stock, you need to be going there, inspecting that stock, going, hey, this is not acceptable or not, or work out, say, okay, I'm going to pay you half now and half when it's completed.
Exactly.
Something along those lines that you sort of, rather than just giving all, the entire thing up front. But yeah, there's obviously a lot of lessons that you have learned, and you do learn those things in business. Like I have learned 1,000 different things in business from the time I started. But again, they're lessons that you learn, and obviously you look at different business ventures and you can take that skill set, all those lessons, and go, okay, well, next time I'm doing this, I'm going to be ensuring that I am very diligent in what I do.
Yeah.
So.
And then, unfortunately, we were hit with a flood.
Yes.
So it was just one thing after the next.
I was driving here, I'm like, I know Dylan was affected by the floods when we had March 2025.
Yep.
And I'm like, again, it's just always one thing or another when you just start in business 2024.
Yeah.
Now the flood happened as well. So for those that don't, aren't aware of what happened, we had a cyclone.
Catastrophic event.
March 2025.
Yep.
Where we had nearly 400 or 500 mil of rain just dumped in probably 2 hours.
I wasn't even here.
Unfortunately.
That was the hard part. I was in Rainbow Beach celebrating a friend's birthday and woken up by my ex-partner at 6 a.m. Babe, wake up. Oh, what? And I was quite hungover. And she goes, check the cameras.
Yeah.
We got to get back to Hervey Bay. It's going under. We got to get back. I said,
And
well, there's no point getting back if it's flooding.
For those that don't know, Hervey Bay has like flash flooding.
Yeah.
100 mil of rain and it floods like crazy.
And it goes away.
It goes quickly, right?
Yeah.
But when you dump 400 mil in like 2 hours, I woke up, it was something, a Sunday morning, I woke up and the sound of rain, it's beautiful. You're like, oh, this sounds really nice. I rolled over, grabbed my phone off the bedside table, and I had like 25 missed calls.
Yep.
And like my heart like instantly just went through the roof, right? And I was like, holy shit, what's going on? It was like all these random numbers that were calling me. and I had to like wake up. I was like, before I even rang him, I was just like scrolling through social media to see like what had even happened, and it was just like flooding, Harvey Bay
Yeah.
flooding.
Yeah.
Seeing some photos, I was like, holy shit! And everyone's like, there's water coming in my property. Like
The biggest one that got me was the car park in Plaza, in the Woolworths Plaza there.
Yeah.
It was it was gone. And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, Main Street should be all right.
Yeah.
And then my mate owns a Atomic Punk tattoo. And he's like, I can't even get through. It's that far under. So I checked the cameras. My store's dry. It's a little damp, but it's dry. And then as I'm driving back to Harvey Bay, my camera feed's not there. And I went, oh, we probably lost power. And I didn't think the worst of it. I was like, it's probably just lost power. It's probably nothing really.
Probably like yourself, we had just renovated this office where we are right now. This was all renovated, paint, flooring, you name it. And I thought our place had surely gone under.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, a lot of places actually around our office here was flooded. But there was no water in this place at all, which thank God for us. Not to sorry rubbing in your face. I'm sorry, mate, but I would have been devastated. I'm sure.
Well, we walked in a few hours later when it all sort of evaporated.
How high was it?
We found a watermark. It was quite high.
Yeah.
We lost everything.
Yeah.
Well, not everything, but pretty much everything. The whole place needed to be stripped out. So yeah, we lost so much stuff. And
probably,
in all honesty, insurance doesn't do much.
Yeah. Or your fit out, your stock itself.
Yeah.
Mate, would have been absolutely massive. And again, you just literally started Whiskey Neat. Would have been what, 12, well, less than 12 months in.
Less than 12 months in. Yeah. And I just sat there and I just went, again, something else. And I looked up and I went, anything else? Is there anything else you want to throw on me? I know you're testing me for something, but like I'm not a religious man, but I do have values in that line. And I just went, come on, give me a break. Seriously, I'm pushing so hard here.
Yeah.
Now in the interim, sorry, quickly, I had Turkey already there. So I had 2 suits made for me, 2 CEO suits. Unfortunately, this one's not one of them, but this is a beautiful suit, double-breasted black cray suit. I loved them, and I showed Dad and I showed the family, and they were like, wow, this is amazing. These suits are so good quality. They're like a Japan one. It's so good. So we did a deal with them, and we had suits made. We had a whole run made. And then he goes, we also make shoes, right? And I was like, what do you mean? And like on a machine? And he goes, no, they're all handmade calf leather. Wow. And I went, so I can design the shoe that I want, and then you'll make it handmade. He's like, yes. So we did, and I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So cool. I can design shoes now. And I love shoes. So I was like, yeah. So like the Vitos, I designed the Vitos and everything else. And like we put the blue bottom because I wanted the red bottoms, but then I went, Christian Louboutin, probably not a good idea.
Kayla loves red bottoms as well.
Oh, doesn't she ever? Oh, doesn't she ever?
She said red bottoms. I was like,
yeah.
I
seen when she first got those, and I was like, oh, they're nice.
I'm like, what the hell's red bottoms? I was like, huh? I'm like, I mean, obviously I'm not, mate, me in fashion, like I'll wear like just cheap $5 shirts if I could. Like for me, I'm not a very.
We have a $5 rack.
I'll be there.
Just t-shirts and activewear.
I'll go this afternoon. But yeah, sorry, cut you off there. But
yeah, so basically we designed the shoes as well, and then we had all the shoes, all the suits come in, and we were doing well. From day one, I opened the doors of the store, and we made a lot of money day one. Yeah. Day one, we made a lot of money. We had a lot of people come in. My mother and I were working it.
It's something you don't really see within Harvey Bay. There is obviously other, franchise companies. I won't name them, but I find if I've ever had suits from them, they fall apart very easily.
We hear that a lot. We do hear that a lot.
So again, obviously finding a couple of things, something that's made well.
Yes.
Looks hot.
Yep.
A young guy.
Yep.
Opening his own business, like all those things contribute. I can imagine, the sales and the support you would have received.
Yeah, we did. Absolutely. We cleaned up day one, and I was not expecting it. And I was like, I hugged my mother so full on at the end of it. I just went, thank you so much. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
This is the best thing ever. This is before all that crap. Because Turkey arrived first. And if I could go back and teach myself one thing about business in fashion, rely on what you got first. If it's quality and it's sitting there and it's working, work with it.
Yeah.
Because clearly
it's not broken,
it's in
don't
demand.
fix it.
It's
right?
what people want, right?
Yeah.
So if I could tell myself one thing, I should have just stayed with turkey, and that would have been the end of it. We would have been making good money. I would have had heaps of money to fall back on, and everything would have been okay. But you learn these lessons.
Yeah. And so you
As long as
you had all the turkey products when the flood happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. That had to be replaced. Yeah, unfortunately.
So what, obviously apart from the obvious with, financially, what impacts did it have post-flood? Was it easy? Was it quick enough to get more stock in? Were you closed for months?
Luckily enough, I had a lot of stock offshore. So, or onshore, I should say, sorry, onshore, at my parents' place.
Yeah.
Thank God. I had heaps of suits there still, because we did do a big bulk order of suits.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I could have taken that big risk there too, because I ordered so many suits. I didn't know if suits were going to sell in Harvey Bay. I was on a hope that suits were going to sell in Harvey Bay, you know?
Well, most people would just go, okay, I'll get a few samples and then you say, like, okay, I'm going to order a bulk now.
Exactly, And I did a kind of opposite thing, and I went bulk. But this is because young and didn't know. I just did not know.
But the risk, you had the reward there, when
I did.
You obviously, not that anyone was thinking or planning that we're going to have a massive flood. The flood happened.
Yep.
You were able to replenish your shop.
Yeah.
And start selling it immediately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So basically then I was like, okay, cool. So this is all working. Then India came in, and then the flood came in and everything else, and we replaced the stock. Now it was a bit of a blessing in disguise, because we took those few months off because we couldn't get back in. It actually took up to 2 or 3 months just to get the shop back in order, because we had to strip out walls, we had to strip out ceilings, we had to strip out everything.
It was really, it was interesting times even for us, like, because I've never experienced in my 12 years I've been 12 years in real estate, but like 8, 9 years in actually having a business. I've never experienced a flood, and what we need to do if someone's property is inhabitable, right?
Yeah.
Where they need to go. Like, so a lot of things that we experienced for the first time in that period of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose it's 2, 3 months for you. That's I can imagine it's a significant amount of money.
Wasn't it ever? I was like, we're gonna lose, we're gonna break.
Yeah.
We're not gonna stay open from this, and everyone's gonna think we've closed down forever. Like, this is a big problem.
I think the public.
I put posts out.
Yeah,
I put posts out. This is when I was running the media. I don't run the media anymore, which is great.
Yeah.
But I put posts out constantly saying, we will reopen, we will rebuild, we are rebuilding. We need time.
Absolutely.
And we understand, because I was getting inquiries, and that was a good thing. I need my wedding suit. I need a formal suit. I need a wedding suit. So I started doing house deliveries.
As I say, did you?
Yeah.
Did you go online as well? Like, do you have an online
I did,
presence?
but not suits.
Not suits.
There's a whole reason for that. We're European. We do European sizing, and no one understands it. And we could make charts that understand it and everything else, but we'd probably have quite a few returns.
Yeah.
Now, we're big in
I like
Sydney.
the personal approach. I've looked at suits before, and you order something online, and they come back and they look like shit, right?
Yeah.
You go in there, you get it fitted out. You're like, okay, yeah, this looks.
Yeah, and it's the tailor experience.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about our experience.
But I was just very curious to see if you were looking at that option, because obviously when your shop went under, right? You're out for 2 or 3 months. You think, well, I can't sell in my shop. How can I sell outside my shop?
Yeah. And I did. I had call after call. So I got in the car, and I would put a suit in the car, and I would drive to the client's house, and I would fit them up. I'd take 3, 4, 5 suits with me. I didn't care.
That's awesome.
And they bought
improvise.
2 or 3 suits.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably would just give it up. This is obviously not meant to be.
Yeah.
But you're like,
no, I was.
Yeah.
I went back to my parents' house, and I got all the suits out, and I put them on I went and got these racks, these big steel racks, and I set it up in my dad's recording studio, and I hung all the suits in there, and I said, right, I'm going to take 3, 4, 5 a day. I'm going to message people. I'm going to say, do you need a wedding suit, a formal suit? People still rang whiskey in it because I kept the lines open and everything else. And I said, no, we're not open, but I can come to you. I can come to your house. And some houses I was going to, oh my God. Some really nice houses that people have in Oraween.
Do you have their phone numbers or? Like,
yeah, I do.
I can
Actually.
grab
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Prospecting.
So
anyway,
that's awesome, man. That's honestly incredible. I really feel like a lot of people, especially like maybe a younger person, would have just said, "This is too hard. I'm giving up."
Yeah.
But you're just like, "This is not over."
This is my baby. I can't let it go.
Yeah.
I want to be international and national, and we are now international and national.
Wow.
Like, I'm shocked at where we are today.
I was going to ask how many shop fronts or where you're looking at expanding into, but I said you're national and international, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, our brand is. I only have brick and mortar here in Harvey Bay, and this is where it will be forever. We got a foothold on Harvey Bay, but we will expand in brick and mortar. Headquarters, exactly. Yeah. So so we rebuilt and we got everything back in and we upgraded the place. And I said, all right, I'm putting a liquor license on here. I want a bar. I want cigars. I want to turn this into a gentleman's HQ. I want this to be the best of the best. I teamed up with a very big brand called Goldfield and Banks, multi-million-dollar fragrance company. I'm sure you're a big fan of them. And so am I. And I said, look, look, they're a multi-million-dollar brand. They could have turned around to me and just said, who the hell are you? You're nothing. See you later. But I gave them my business plan. I gave them my projections. I gave them what I want to do with the brand. And I said, look, you guys, it's not that we're going to promote you in such a way of saying this is the best thing ever. It's about collaborating, and it's about making you a part of Whiskey Neat, not just we stock your brand and hope we sell it and that's it.
Yeah.
We actually said we want to put you on our doors. We want to put you on our website. We want to do everything. And they literally turned around and said, all right, we'll speak to the CEO. CEO said, yep, straight away. As soon as he's seen everything I wrote
when you're
about.
painting a picture, a vision to them, like, and they're thinking, wow, this guy knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He has big dreams. We can, collaborate.
Yeah. So we got their whole stock and tested it all out, and we got all this stuff to display.
Amazing, mate. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. I'm wearing Silky Woods today. I love it. Yeah, it's so good. And then so we stocked that as well, and we got the nice wooden floors in, and we got the bar license, and my dad and I built the bar, and a builder as well. Yeah. And things were just looking amazing in there, and getting a really good vibe in there. And then
it's honestly, it looks incredible. Again, everything that you have said you wanted to do in the vision you have, you've achieved that.
Yeah.
With obviously it all coming to fruition.
Exactly.
With the quality of the brand, the quality of the material, the shop fit out, the experience as well. Like, you have wrapped it all in one and created something that's unbelievable. It's very neat.
I do have some very big plans coming for Whiskey Neat that I can't talk about, but if you follow us, you will see them.
Just teasers like that?
I know, right? Yeah. Getting it all hot in here.
Jeez. A bit of foreplay, okay. Right, mate.
So there's some big things coming for Whiskey Neat. We have had some very strong talks in some investing areas where the brand can grow dramatically and really well, and we can bring a way better experience to Hervey Bay than what we have now. The potential that it has.
I feel like it could be like a Culture Kings.
I looked at Culture Kings, and I was like, I'd love to recreate a Culture Kings.
Like, I feel like it could very well be like a similar, like, where you have that demographic that like their cigars, that like that, that fashion, that whiskey sort of, that vibe, where, it's very much a gentleman's sort of club.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's probably many cities, would absolutely go crazy over, I reckon.
Exactly.
I think, you've created a very sophisticated brand.
Yeah.
That I could see going to places like a Culture Kings.
Well, with a name like Whiskey Neat, I hope so.
Yeah.
I've had one person ever tell me, the name doesn't fit what you do.
Really?
You should be a bar. And I was like, well, we have a bar. And they kind of just went a bit silent after that. And they're like, okay.
That's okay.
Well, do you sell top shelf whiskey? Yes. Yes, we do.
You're going to have that in business, mate. Someone's always going to question you.
But
that's
exactly.
okay. That's all right.
But everyone else says they love the name. And I turned around to her, though, and I said, okay, so when you hear of Ralph Lauren, it's his name, right? When you hear of Tommy Hilfiger, it's his name. I could have called the brand Dylan Nelson. I could have called the brand Dylan Nelson Barons. I could have called it Dylan Lewis or whatever, right?
Fawn Property Group.
Fawn Property Group. Fawn Fashion. And I said, but why would I do that? Because I'm just kind of copying everybody else. Yeah. And I said, Whiskey Neat, there's a whole reason it doesn't sound fashionable. That's why it's good. Because it doesn't sit in your face. If I called it Whiskey Fashion, one, that's a terrible name, I'm sorry, it just is. But two, everyone goes, it's fashion. That's all it is. And
Whiskey Neat could be anything.
Whiskey Neat could be anything. We're now a conglomerate. We own a modeling agency. We own fashion, and we own events and organizations arm. So we're actually now a conglomerate. We're not just a fashion brand anymore. We're a conglomerate now, which owns multiple arms. And we're going to keep expanding those arms too. I'm going to put people in positions who will be in charge of these sections.
Whiskey Neat.
And then I will be sitting
Whiskey
on
Neat
top
Property
of
Group. Whiskey Neat Real Estate.
Whiskey Neat. Whiskey Neat Property Group.
It could be anything. It honestly could be anything. We could collaborate.
So basically, that's the foundation I want to look at for Whiskey Neat. And the best part about Whiskey Neat that I love so much is that the name, which has the bar, the cigars, and the fashion, really sets it apart from just a general fashion store. People hear Whiskey Neat, they think sophistication, gentlemanly, moody, dark,
Absolutely.
that sort of thing. So they come in thinking, could it be a bar? Could it be this? Could it be that? Could it be a marketing agency with a digital ebook?
It can be whatever you want it to be.
And people walk in and they're wowed and they're just like, oh, I did not know it was this. You know.
Hey, who inspires you? Is obviously I feel like there's always someone who does inspire you, who motivates you to.
Tommy Hilfiger, believe it or not. I love Tommy Hilfiger. I had a whole wardrobe, and I still kind of do have a whole wardrobe of Tommy Hilfiger. I also love his backstory too. Have you ever heard of it?
I haven't, no.
Where he got jeans and he drove all the way to New York and he unbranded them and he sold them out of the back of his car. And I just went, that's inspiration. And the biggest marketing thing he ever did was the top fashion brands trending, and he put himself up and he goes, Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and something else. I can't remember what they all were.
Yeah, right.
But he put himself there.
Yeah.
No one knew who this guy was.
He's put himself there.
It was Fugazi, right? You ever heard of that term?
Yeah, Fugazi.
Yeah, Fugazi. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he put himself there. And I'm probably going to steal that one day. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Biggest fashion brands in Australia. Whiskey Neat, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm really inspired by him. The other thing that really inspires me now is Ralph Lauren. I walk into a Ralph Lauren and I love his stores. I love his aesthetic. It's that real preppy Americanized store, and his designs and his backstory is amazing. You will never hear of a fashion CEO and founder that has not gone through so much heartbreak and bankruptcy and problems and everything else. So I knew going into this company, I'm going to face these issues. I'm going to face high stress. I'm going to face probably almost to the point where I'm just going to fold and give up. And unfortunately, I already kind of have. Those guys didn't face that until they started to grow too big. And then they went bankrupt. But now...
Mate, growth problems, yeah.
I kind of had that at the start. So I'm starting going, okay, well, I'm sitting here going, okay, well, I have that here now. So maybe I won't experience that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I hope I don't because I've experienced it now. And that's who really inspires me now. Tommy Hilfiger and Ralph Lauren, the Americanized preppy sort of brands, because I see their visions, I see what they're doing. But when they release a suit and when they release a signature line, it's really there, like for the elite. We're actually launching a new, and I can say this because it's now protected as well. We're launching, I didn't want to call it VIP or signature line or something. So I'm calling it the Whiskey Neat Elite.
Okay.
So I'm going to make elite polos with like nice fancy writing. I'm going to make elite suits. I'm going to make an elite club.
Yep.
So with like the Cuban cigars and the bar and everything else and the aesthetic that we're going to bring and the events we're going to bring, the elite events. So,
mate,
yeah, like all that growth is there, ready to go. All those plans are there, ready to go. We want to set up in Tokyo because the fashion strip in Tokyo would go off. Absolutely.
So you got contacts there already as well, which is
yeah.
That's why you build those relationships and contacts, and I can honestly see your business is it's going to go places. Honestly, it is.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to keep designing, bringing out suits, and it really warms my heart when we can be so affordable in Hervey Bay, and yet we can really up those prices in Sydney, Melbourne, London, Perth, and that's where we do our suits now.
Yeah.
We send suits all over the place now. We send suits online. We just launched our motorbike jacket line as well because I now ride a motorbike.
Yes, yeah.
And I got so sick of the motorbike industry, fashion industry. It's so
bland.
Oh, it's bland. It's so bad. So I said, I'm going to go create one. It's just a full
suit now. You just work
yeah, I know, right? Motorbike suit, yeah. So we created these really nice European certified safety, insertable armor, full 100% leather motorbike jackets.
Wow.
And I get so many compliments. I ride it to Sunny Coast, ride it to Brisbane, and people pulling up at surveys going, where'd you get your jacket? And I'm like, here's my card. Come and get a jacket.
Mate, it feels like you got your fingers and in all these different.
People say I'm expanding too quick. People say that I make things too much. People say even our CFO he says, Dylan, hold the brakes a little bit. Focus on the suits. Focus on what sells. Focus on this. Stop trying to expand the fashion brand. Stop trying to go into the motorbike jackets and this. He supports it, and he's an amazing man. But he also has an understanding of.
Mate.
I am a kid in a candy store because I look at it and I go, I want fragrance. I want to design watches. The other day I was looking at literally buying and selling vintage watches. So Whiskey Neat would be a reputable vintage watch retailer. And then eventually we'd start creating our own watches and we'd get into those lines of the biggest problem is, an advisor told me, and he's a watch collector, and he said the biggest problem you're going to have if you design watches is everyone's going to compare you to Rolex. Everyone will compare you to Rolex. Because we market ourselves as this high-end luxury brand, which we are, because, I mean, we handcraft shoes, we make tailored suits, we do everything to the finest detail with the highest quality. So we then can't produce a cheap Chinese watch.
Yeah.
We need to produce a European or a Japanese-made watch. And I'm a watch collector myself. I'm wearing Hugo Boss today, you know. So we need to be careful. Because if we go out and just go, all right, well, we want a watch collection, we'll just go to China because it's cheap. People are then going to go, well, then you're not a luxury brand, really, are you? You're just a sellout. So
I know we'll wrap this up quickly.
Yeah.
Because I know you got to go somewhere soon.
Yes,
Mate,
acting, Rocky Horror Show, come watch it.
I want to always ask one question. What's something that what's something that people don't know about you?
Oh.
I know you do a lot of things. You put a lot of things out there. You do. Yeah, you do, mate. You do support work. You have your obviously fashion business.
Yeah.
You do shows. What's something that people wouldn't know about you?
Wouldn't know about me. Gee, I'm a very open book. This is a hard one, Trent.
Sorry, mate. I just put you on the spot.
I know, right?
I want to ask
People
this to
wouldn't
everyone.
know about me. I mean, everyone knows that I sing, play guitar, do all those hobbies. I mean, I make it quite public because I love my old school music and stuff. I think a lot of people don't know that I'm very eclectic in my tastes. I can be really new age and love the rap and party and R&B and club
and then
scene.
still appreciate the.
And then I can be also really 1920s, where I can love sitting in a soul bar with some sax and some different instruments that, you know, align with the jazz and soul music. Okay, here's one that we wouldn't know about me. If I could go back and be a kid all over again and start from the start, I'd build myself up to being almost a, you know, like a jazz or a soul singer.
Okay.
And move to America and be on stage and do the things like Elvis did, that sort of thing.
Wow.
That would be a dream. I'd love to do that. Yeah. So I guess that's what people don't know about me.
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate it, mate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, mate, unbelievable story. I've just literally been sitting here going like, wow.
Yeah.
I
get told I talk too much.
Mate, great for a podcast. Mate, honestly, I appreciate your time. I was seriously looking forward to sitting here to chat with you today, and mate, I can't wait to maybe revisit this in 6 months' time to see exactly where you're at again.
Yeah,
in 6 months'
hopefully
time,
I'm
so.
saying we're now nationally and we've expanded and we've moved to sunny coast and Melbourne and Sydney, and we're heavily demanded in Sydney. I get asked all the time, open a store in Sydney, open a store in Sydney. I just need the backing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate it, my man.
Thank you, Trent.